baseline, cutting it back, across the face of goal, loose, and it's in! At the corner of the box, whipping it in, flipped by Promise to Jonathan David. Promise fulfilled. To the edge of the 6, it dropped down. No one deserves it more than Tajon Buchanan.
Your Canadian Shield champions, Canada's men.
Antoine Surround here for the goal for Curaçao in stoppage time. Jacob Schaffelberg dismissed in stoppage time at the end of the half. And Canada down to 10 men in this Gold Cup quarter-final. Fougereau off the bar. Canada's long wait for a Gold Cup trophy will continue.
We're hearing the most recent reports actually have Jonathan David linked to Juventus.
Jonathan David reportedly agreeing to terms and will head to Serie A.
New reporting has emerged emanating from Tajon Buchanan's camp that the Canadian is in talks to return to Villarreal.
Ismail Kone has officially headed to Italy with Sassuolo.
Nathan Saliba apparently leaving CF Montreal to join Belgian club Anderlecht.
Qui donne sa super moment et c'est Saliba.
That was the summer story for the Canadian men's national team and some of the most important players, which will feature less than a year from now at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Wheeler and Wilson with you. This is Oh Canada, Oh Baby. It's about that time to reflect upon what happened this summer as the days are getting shorter. The weather's simply not cooling down, but now we're looking ahead to the September window. So let's reflect upon the summer that was. The games on the field, the highs and lows and disappointments in between, as well as some of the player movement in terms of the transfer or signings, as well as the imminent return of Alphonso Davies. A lot has happened this summer, Jordan Wilson. What is the headline story for you, or what did you learn over the past few months that maybe can, take with you or take with us as we move forward?
I mean, there's a couple of things. One, I just have to talk about it, Wheels. I don't like how you basically said summer's done. Like, we got to hold on. You basically said that. You basically said get ready for fall. I'm not ready to get out the rain jacket and all that nonsense. I'm still with the short shorts.
Okay.
Bucket hat.
Are you telling our producer that we're doing this segment too early? 2 weeks too early? Is that what you're saying?
Look at this guy.
Look at this guy throwing our producer under the bus. So,
what a
noted.
Jerk. What a jerk that I am.
Noted.
I think back to what the summer was, and for me, Wheels just feels a bit underwhelming because of the quality within the side, but I think the expectations that this team said that they were going to do. And when you think about the Gold Cup, and you think about how they lost in the Gold Cup before a couple of years ago to the U.S., to not get back. Sorry, that was Nations League, but to not get back to
Gold Cup.
A Gold Cup final, or to get there when they said that this is something they were going to do, and to lose to Guatemala in the way that they did, that feels underwhelming. So, yeah, I think about the talent on the side, the fact that they couldn't get over that hump and get back to something that was big, it's going to be something that I think about from years to come.
It was really disappointing. Like, even heading from the fall. Like, this was a chance. You're like, oh, in 2025, how many trophies is Canada going to win?
Yeah.
They're going to be, they ended up winning one, and it was the Canadian Shield.
Bro, I'm not counting
and it was one of my most disappointing moments.
We're not doing
hearing
that.
We are the champions after a 0-0 draw.
Papa,
that
we're
was
not
a
doing
low. That was a low point of the summer, but not beating Guatemala. I understand Schaffelberg sending off changed the context. Everything was chaotic.
Yeah, disjointed.
It just seemed like the stuff off the field with Marsh. The play on the field wasn't great either. There was two really good performances this summer. Against Ukraine, where I'm not sure about Ukraine's approach, left some of their best players at home. Canada simply just ran them off the field.
Yeah.
Then the game against Honduras at BC Place, which was impressive.
Yeah.
But those were two moments where you got your hopes up, and then poof, just not quite good enough. For me, that tells me that this team has a lot of work to do, not just in terms of personnel, who's going to feature, what the depth chart is, or what the pecking order is. It's learning to win.
Yeah.
It's an intangible, this, in the game of football. You can have a group of very good players who can play a very compelling brand of football, but if you don't have the nous, if you don't have the experience, if you don't have the wherewithal, or the tactical blueprint to see yourself through difficult moments in games, you're going to be left wanting more. And that's what I feel about this team right now. They're good. They think they're great. They're not there yet, and they still have a lot of work to do.
Look, you speak about it, and you said it so eloquently there, Wheels. I look at this summer as well. There were too many moments where there was like insecurity, and they seemed frazzled. Again, I'm not asking this team to be perfect. No team is.
No.
But I'm only going to go off of what you say. If you say you're going to play in the last game of a tournament, I'm going to expect that. If you say that you're there and you're ready and you have ballers that can go and compete at the highest level, I'm going to see that. I'm going to expect that. I look at also what this team is doing individually at the club level, and it doesn't always translate when you come together, but in CONCACAF, I expect them to be one of the best teams and to show it on the pitch. So now you got, 8 months before the biggest sporting event in the world, with the talent that this team has, the clubs that they're playing with, I expect to see some results, and I want to push this team forward.
So are you looking at the summer as maybe a turning point?
Has to be a
wake-up
call.
call?
I'd say wake-up
what is
call.
it for you?
It should be a turning point because you think of the situations where Canada and the way that they played, they could have taken it to teams. I know Schaffelberg got a silly red card, but I also know that the team, from that moment, didn't make the best decisions to go and win a match. So I'm looking at them. This has to be a turning point where, look, you have Marsh's philosophy, but you also do what you said and take care of moments and win games. That's what they need to be. So when you're playing these next couple of games, these next couple of friendlies, I want to see that maturity and that security within the side.
The context should be different. If everything goes to plan with Moise Bombito coming back in the team, that will be an upgrade. Obviously, the imminent return of Alphonso Davies over the next few months.
That'll help.
I mean, that's going to be a lift, but there's still questions that need to be answered. The goalkeeper, maybe some of the midfield roles, who's best suited for what situation. Left winger, primary striker alongside Jonathan David. There's a lot to figure out. For me, the biggest thing that they need to figure out is what's next. Where is plan B, C, or D for Jesse Marsh?
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, there's no willingness or eagerness to change anything right now. I worry about that. Not that Marsh isn't a good manager. He clearly believes in his style of play. But for international footballers in the heat in the summer to play in this tournament, where World Cup's in the international game, it's very tactical in the way that it's played. I'm just not sure if they're there yet. If there's a willingness to evolve, I'm in. I get it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any of that quite yet. Yes, we're just over a year in, but time is ticking here, isn't it?
Also, to your point, I totally agree. Time is ticking. But look at, I don't want to go on a tangent, but look at Greece when they won the Euros, or look at Italy when they won the World Cup, and the tactics and the discipline that's required to frustrate teams and to go far in the tournament. That's what it's about. Like, people are like, oh, well, you play a boring brand. Who cares? If you can get your team to get on to the next round, to play in a final, to go as far as you can in the World Cup, that's what's important. So I totally agree with you with the plan B. That's what needs to be present with the side. So you know that you can run any team off the pitch, but that's not what happens in 90 minutes. There are moments where you have to sit back. There are moments where you have to press together. There are moments where you shouldn't press. So it's finding those moments. And I think with Jesse Marsh as well, we know his identity. He's been coaching Canada for a while now, and we can see his imprint on the team. But when is a point for a manager to adjust and to tweak things to make his team better?
It's funny, all of this and the questions about the tactics of this team come at a time where months ago Canada advertised this opening for sporting director. And we've heard whispers in different circles of what it may look like. For the longest time I heard it's going to be a former player. It wasn't going to be a traditional sporting director role, but it would be someone that's able to weigh in and help out, especially on the operational side of what, you know, maybe not a traditional sporting director that we'd see in club teams. It would just be a variance of that role. Now I'm hearing whispers, I'm not reporting on this, that there's new names who have now come forward and come to the table. I'm hearing one name that is part of the consideration is Corey Ray, who was just dismissed from CF Montreal, unceremoniously, by the way, but a player that understands Canadian football, understands players, and would probably be able to serve in that role in a different way, not setting forward the tactical blueprint of the country. I just don't think that that's something that Marsh wants to relinquish, but maybe can help in other ways. But getting that right fit, I just think that role is exceptionally important.
It's vital.
No, and I think it should be a more expanded role than maybe what the scope of what they're looking for.
I think it's important whoever has that role as a sporting director with Jesse Marsh can speak to him and have him listen. I think sometimes when it's someone too close to that person or isn't able to, I don't want to say assert dominance, but just show that coach a different way of things and how things should be, and show maybe the hidden angle that they can't see is important. If someone's shy or feels like they can't speak their mind or they can't come to an agreement with certain things, then it's just a recipe for disaster. You don't want a situation where a head coach of a national team just has free reign to do whatever he wants. And we've seen, as much as I love Jesse Marsh and what he's done, if you give anyone a long leash, they can go off the rails. You have to make sure things are tight and tidy, specifically hosting a World Cup on all levels, but specifically where we are right now with Canada and soccer.
Also wanted to mention one other story. I think it would be the second most significant. It's the one that we certainly have talked about the most, was Jonathan David landing with Juventus.
Huge.
You know, it's a big club, rich in history, and an opportunity for him to maybe step up in terms of the competition that he plays in. With a bigger club, bigger expectation, and more eyeballs on him, I'm really excited to see how this move plays out. I love Serie A football, and when people kind of downplay it, like, look, there's 8 or 9, could maybe even extend out to 10 teams every year you know are going to be more than decent.
Yeah, quality.
Like, the league is getting better.
No, quality league. It's always been, Wheels. I mean, I described Serie A 10 years ago probably as a league that is defensive, but tactically everyone's organized. But for someone like Jonathan David, it's a 5-star club, and he's a 5-star player.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Like, specifically for Canada, we love seeing him wear the number 10 and what he does, but he is a 5-star striker. The way he moves, the way that he finishes, and now you get that perfect marriage where he's playing for Juve, he's in Torino, he's getting that star quality love that he deserves. He'll translate that into the national team. And that's what we need.
Yeah, so some big stories, other players moving on, but those are the headlines for us. Get involved in the socials. Let us know your top stories from the summer. It's not over. I get it. But we're making our way there.
No, we got 2 weeks left. You're right.
I like this segment.
No, but
I think our producer is outstanding.
Why are you doing me like that, Wheels?
Honestly, nothing but support from the host of this show.
Shout out to you.
The analyst. He's analyzing.
Questionable.
Next stop is Bucharest, Romania, Canada, September 5th. Then the mighty Welsh. Come on, you Dragons. The Red Dragons against Canada, September 9th, right here on One Side.